Okay, something quickly on Eric. So we've had Burling speaking, Gerald, Sheila, Mrs. Burling. We've learnt a little bit about each of the characters. Burling has pretensions towards something greater than he is. Gerald is rather aloof, slightly smug. Sheila's playful, but clearly is feeling a little bit anxious about her relationship with Gerald, possibly based on something that happened the summer before. Mrs. Burling slightly cold, slightly aloof, and disapproving of the fact that maybe her husband doesn't quite understand the role that he should be playing. What about Eric? Well, Eric slightly stands separately from his family. Let's look at the first time that we hear anything from him. He suddenly laughs, he guffaws, his parents look at him. Sheila says severely, "Now what's the joke?" Eric, "I don't know really. Suddenly I felt I just had to laugh." Sheila, "You're squiffy, you're drunk." Eric, "I'm not." So, what could we say? Well, possibly we could say that he's slightly immature. He just seems to be laughing for no reason. Maybe he is a little bit drunk. Maybe he just enjoys life. The relationship with the sister, we can see there's a bit of playful banter. Eric says, "If you think that's the best she can do." Sheila, "Don't be an ass, Eric." And Mrs. Burling, "Now stop it, you two." There are echoes of their previous relationship as children there. And we see that in the first act. We see a bit of playful banter between the two of them. We can't help but like Eric. We can't help but warm to him right from the very start. Eric is very much the voice of the conscience of the family. He's someone who is the one who asks questions, who doesn't just accept things just because that's the way they are. In many ways, he's the moral conscience of the family. We'll see as the play develops that each of the characters has his or her own function in the play. Each character has a role, has a function to move the play forward, in the way that Gerald and Mr. Burling particularly have this sort of arrogance. We know that the reason they have that arrogance at the beginning of the play is so that it can be popped, it can be burst as the play develops. And Eric's role is sort of to really emphasize their smugness and their arrogance by being someone who really isn't smug and who isn't arrogant, and who doesn't really quite understand his place in the family. And maybe this sudden guffaw at the beginning suggests that slight immaturity, that he hasn't quite grown up. But along with that immaturity, I think comes a sense that he is more honest than the others, that he's not been so caught up in the trappings of power and the trappings of money. So as we carry on watching the play and carry on reading the play and analysing it, just be aware of what role Eric plays, because he seems on the surface to not have a particularly important role. This rather silly little boy maybe, but actually as the play moves on, we can see, along with the inspector, he really does have a very, very important function in the play.